And she had one person in particular, and she pulled out this folder, and it was huge compared to everybody else's. I was like, whoa, what's happening here? And I knew this person because I was being promoted from within the team. I worked alongside this person who had the biggest personnel folder I'd ever seen. Didn't understand. And I said, what is the deal with this? And she's like, well, I have to keep special tabs on her. I said, tell me why. What's going on? And she said, well, you know the type. You let her get away with anything. She'll get away with everything. So what I do is I check in. Like she had some system set up on her computer. Like, I don't know, this is probably illegal. So hopefully
No one's going to know what
no
you're
one
talking
connects
about.
these
It's
dots.
fine.
She had something set up where she would calculate how much time she spent, like logged in, and then comparing it to like the average length of something, and then double checking, and then had her turning in a separate report every month that I don't think this person knew, only she turned in. And it was almost like a weird obsession. I started to think like, why he's obsessed with her? Because it was this tedious, tedious tracking of everything. And this person I knew she was excellent at her job as far as like professionally. Her patients loved her, coworkers. Of course, some people didn't. I don't know, whatever. But this was a person who, like, in my mind, was very easy to figure out. I knew exactly what she needed. It was not a hard thing for me to get this person to do what needed to be done because you would just compliment her and be nice to her. That was it.
Yeah.
But my boss, as she was training me, said, "You're going to start to think things are okay because you're not going to see any trends, and then suddenly she'll mess up, and you'll have the records for it." And I was like, "This is, you know, it's a witch hunt. Like we're actually witch hunting this lady,
Yeah.
all because
What
she
was
was
her
kind of
beef with her?
annoying. She was kind
Okay,
of annoying. Just found her annoying.
okay.
Yeah." And I was like, "You have
Wow.
redefined this relationship you have with just her because you find her annoying. And you have all of these like records of you keeping tabs on somebody who is a professional and has been doing this for 20 years, who has never had any complaints, who has never like we get audited. There's never been a
A
problem with this
reason.
person. Their personalities clashed, and my boss just her way of dealing with it was to be more vindictive than to just let it go. And after she sat me down and showed me all this, and I asked questions for like 30 minutes because I was digging,
Wow.
digging, trying to figure out why is this report necessary?
Damn.
Well, it's really not necessary. Okay, so why are we doing it? Well, we're doing it because she'll get away with stuff if we don't. Oh, okay. So how do we know everybody else is doing it? Well, we don't, but we just know they don't do this kind of stuff, right? Only she's the one who does this kind of stuff. I'm like, I realized that my boss had never worked alongside her before, but I had. And so
Yeah.
I saw what she was really like delivering patient care and what she was like working with the rest of her coworkers, like her peers.
Mm-hmm.
My boss had never seen that and had come up with this entirely false narrative in her head of what was happening.
Mm-hmm.
And I straight up asked her at the very end, I said, "Is there an expectation from you or like who would be my new boss that I continue this record keeping like this?" And she said, "Well, I think it's necessary." And I said, "I don't think it's necessary."
You told her that?
Yes, I told her that. I said, "I don't think it's necessary." And it turns out the person who became my boss, he had no idea she was even doing this. And so she was making up all these stories. And anyway, so it wasn't that I
Ah.
necessarily even respected her that much in the beginning. She was fine. Like, whatever, my boss. I learned that things only matter if you make them matter. That was really one of the things with like, this wasn't a big deal. She didn't have to be tracking any of this,
Yeah.
but she spent all the time doing this. So I was like, what the hell are you doing all day?
Yeah. Well,
Literally, what the hell are you doing all day?
she's tracking her this one chick all day. That's a full
Seriously.
time job. PI work ain't easy.
I mean, yeah, she was bringing up her Facebook. She was bringing up everything. It was
What?
weird. She had like a really weird kind of pseudo obsession with it because she was dead set on finding something that this person had done wrong. But I mean, if that like 5-inch folder, five inch deep folder didn't show you anything was wrong, you're
Hmm.
probably barking up the wrong tree.